Draper serves. Backhand cross-court winner from Sinner to on the return to win the match. 3 hours for a 3-set match. And like I predicted, Vanch, all 3 sets were very different.
They were, yeah. I mean, I guess Jack can be happy of how he competed in the second set and how managed to make the first set quite close, and just also the whole tournament that he had. He's going to be in the top 20 in the world after this. So big step forward for him. And then, yeah, for Sinner, I mean, came into this tournament with the sort of question marks of how he would deal with the doping case, but came out against McDonald. Actually was down a set in a break, but since then he's just kind of gotten better as the tournament's gone along. And yeah, he's the favorite regardless of whoever wins between Tiafoe and Fritz in the final.
I mean, Sinner became the favorite the minute he converted match point against Medvedev. Because that was the one question mark, I think, that anyone had left. Maybe because once Federer walked out, Medvedev was the only real threat left.
I feel like that because those were the two best players left in the draw after Djokovic and Alcaraz went out. We were kind of looking at both of them, and that, as in, if not a de facto final, then at least the winner of that is probably going to go on and win the tournament. So,
just quickly on Jack's performance, Jack Draper. I feel like if I was gonna sum it up, it would be raging against the dying of the night. Given he was playing, an opponent was really good. His body was he was fighting his own body at points, and yet we got through that second set and somehow he didn't get broken despite multiple chances for Sinner. He breaks back in the first set. Like even that last game, like he was determined to not just go down meekly to Jannik Sinner. So yeah, that's probably, if I was going to use a phrase to sum up the Draper performance, that's what I would use.
Yeah, I mean, I do think at times he could have served a bit better than he did. Like his first serve was working pretty well when he did hit his spots, especially because Sinner was covering the wide serve on the outside pretty well. So when he did go down the tee, he did get a few looks at some easy opportunities to attack, or he did get some misses, like in the first set from the baseline from Jannik, where Jannik was a little bit, error prone at times. But I think his first serve percentage could have been a little bit better. That's also just given how well Sinner returns. Probably feels like he has to go for a little bit more on that first serve. I do like, again, the way he competed in the second set, the fact that he was able to get it to the tiebreak. He only had one break chance in the second set, which was in the first Jannik Sinner service game.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like he was up against it from the get-go no matter what. So yeah, I didn't think overall it was either going to be a Sinner in 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think straight sets for Sinner is what I thought was going to happen going in. I didn't think it was going to take this long. Yeah, so Sinner, do we think there's a possibility here that he's going to get the questionable plaudit of winning a Grand Slam without playing your best tennis?
Yes, but kind of he doesn't really need to play it like in his absolute unbelievable October to March level to win this thing now. He's kind of just doing what he needs to do and getting the job done. So can't really. I mean, he didn't drop a set today. Dropped one set against Medvedev and one against McDonald. So he's only dropped 2 sets so far en route to the final. I mean, usually most of the top players do end up dropping that many hits, en route. So I don't think it's like vastly different. I still think he's playing better than he was in between here in Cincinnati's. Probably just not quite at the caliber of the indoor season, but also like indoor season. I mean, different conditions as well. So that's
what's going to come alive
at the end of the year. And also, given everything coming in, I think it's about as well as you could expect Sinner to play.
Yeah, given the second, yeah, I'd agree. I think there's a definite sense that second maybe second gear, but like third or fourth gear for Sinner is enough against pretty much anyone, apart from the other members of the top 5 of the men's game, and I think there's a clear top 5 right now.
Yeah, I do feel like every time he's playing, I mean, the Medvedev match was the main question because he just lost to him at Wimbledon, and it's just because how tactical and how much of a chess match that whole rivalry and how back and forth it's gone. So I feel like once he overcame that, once he kind of did what he had to do to get through, it was just going to be like it was going to take a lot for anyone left in the tournament to stop him. It's still, I mean, there's still a very outside chance that Fritz or Tiafoe could pose a threat to him, but I just think like the combination of how strong he's hitting from the back of the court, how well he's defending, and he seems to be moving better than he was for about 2 or 3 months before this, and just like how he's kind of locking in at just the right moments, like the tie breaks and like the ends of the sets. I feel like that's where he's bringing out his best tennis, because we saw his best tennis in the tiebreak, and it was just too overwhelming.
There was a question from Sean earlier in the stream. You weren't there for it. I think it was when Zach was still on. About is Sinner is Sinner becoming as clutch as we saw Djokovic get?
Not yet. I mean, it's still too early to really compare him to Djokovic right now. I mean, the body of work is just not that big enough, not that big of a sample size, quite yet. I mean, I still do think he has work to do in terms of improving his 5-set record. It's like 6 and 9 overall in 5-setters, and he has lost quite a few in the slams. Up until now, of course, he did win the Australian Open final from 2 sets to love down, so that is a feather in his cap. But yeah, I mean, I think he's just kind of doing what we thought he would, especially after Djokovic and Alcaraz went out.
Yeah.